on. Kind of a big day for us. We're actually going to get our address sign for our property. Had to apply for that, which was relatively easy. Just had to reach out to the zoning office of our parish, because we're in Louisiana. They call things parishes and not counties. So got the address a few weeks ago, and then they asked us if we wanted a sign. So yeah, we wanted a sign because they need a sign out there before you can get any utilities. So we're going to pick up the sign today, and we're going to apply for our water. And they'll tell us how much it's going to cost, because it's going to depend on whether they have to bore under the road. So we'll do the application. So kind of some big milestones for us. We have a special guest today. Look at him. Hey, Cisco.
There he is.
Say hey, Cisco. Hey. He'll start coming with us more often now, because the weather's starting to get a little bit cooler. So we're actually going to go up to we have a camp up in Mississippi, a hunting camp, and it's only about an hour from the property. So we're going to head up there after we go pick up our address and apply for our water, and do some cleaning up there, because it's been a little while since it's been cleaned thoroughly. And then we'll end up spending the night there, and then go into the property, weather permitting, tomorrow.
Yeah, weather's not looking too good.
No, we've got some sort of disturbance. We're not far from the Gulf of Mexico where we live, and any kind of little disturbances out in the Gulf will tend to get us some bad weather. And we are at the peak of hurricane season. Thankfully, knock on wood, I don't have any wood around here, we won't get any hurricanes this year. So anyway, we'll give you other updates as we go. Should be cutting more trees, and we've kind of flip-flopped on where we want the house. We've moved it
about 8 times.
Yeah. So I think we are finally settled on where on the property we want the house. It's going to mean we have to bring in dirt, but we kind of had this talk, and we said, so it's going to be our forever home. So it might cost us a little more to bring in dirt, but
we're not necessarily bringing in dirt.
Yeah.
The plan is we've got enough property that we're going to dig a pond, and we're going to use our own dirt, so we don't have to pay for somebody else's dirt.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to pay to have it moved from one spot of the property to another.
Yeah, but it's worth it if to get exactly what you want and not compromise. And that's what we discussed. If we want the home here, and because of some of the way the land laid, we thought, oh, that's not going to be a good place, because it means we're going to have to bring in dirt, and over here we won't have to bring in dirt. But then we're like, but that's not really where we want it. So anyway, had a talk, and I think we've made up our mind. So might do some measuring and staking again.
Yeah, and it's not an issue of having to haul in fill dirt because of flooding or anything like that. It's because of where our property is located in St. Francisville, which isn't far from the Mississippi River. Tens of thousands of years ago, all that land changed, the geography of it, because of the meandering of the river. So it's got a lot of ups and downs, hills and valleys,
ravines.
So basically, we're having to fill in a little small
dip in the land.
Yeah, a little valley. I mean, it's got an elevation change of about 4 or 5 feet or so that we're going to need to fill in. So
it's not as deep as some of the ravines that we have on the property, but it's not bad. We should be able to do that with the dirt from where we picked out where we want the pond. So, which happens to be the other place, the place where we thought we were going to put the house is now where we're going to dig the pond.
So we bring the tractor back, brought it home to do 100-hour service on it, oil change, oil filters, fuel filters.
How many hours have we been sitting in the seat?
Hydraulic filter. Since we started, we've put exactly 50 hours on the tractor of seat time. When we bought it, it's a 2023 model. It had 53 hours on it. And it just worked out to our last weekend at the property, we hit 103 hours. So I wasn't exactly positively sure if the previous owner did the 50-hour service on it I had checked the fluids and everything looked good, so I pushed the envelope a little bit and ran it to 100-hour service and just did the whole gamut of maintenance on it. So,
Yeah, we've been pretty rough on that thing. And
yeah, I'm not a brand loyalty type of person like some of these guys, you know, Ford, Chevy, whatever. But this little John Deere 1025R has really impressed me with what it is capable of doing. With that grapple on it, we have moved some material.
Yeah.
Some of the logs that I've picked up with it, you wouldn't think that little tractor would be capable of doing that. But
yeah, it's got quite a nice stack of lumber that we're hoping we can mill, which will be really nice to be able to mill some lumber for either our apartment or the house. And then we have another stack of it's end up going to be a monstrous stack of firewood. We will have firewood for a lifetime. I think we've probably cut about 30 trees.
we've cut a lot.
Yeah, so far, and we're not done yet. We're getting close to where
We're close to, I would say, a couple more weekends of working, and I think we will have all the trees cut that our equipment is capable of cutting.
Yeah, there's a couple humongous oak trees, and one where there's like two other trees leaning on it, just beyond our
it's just
comfort zone.
I mean, if I had a bigger saw, I could cut them, but that one in particular that's got trees, they blew over in another storm, so kind of a domino effect. One tree blew into another tree, which blew into this huge oak tree that the drought killed last year. This huge, beautiful oak tree is dead now. And where it's standing, it's got to go.
Yeah.
Because we definitely know that our shop, barn dominium, is going in this location, and that tree is too close to where the shop's going to be. So our goal all along has been, before we drive the first stake in the ground, is to remove any and all trees that are capable of falling on either the house structure or the shop structure.
Yeah, it's a different mindset when you're looking around, because at first you just want to clear all the trees that are going to be where your shop or building is going to be, but then you really need to look around and look at the trees, the way they're leaning, how tall they are, and could they potentially, fall on the house. And if they can, they got to go. That's just...
Yeah, we just don't want that. Even though we're pretty good ways inland from the Gulf of Mexico. Really anywhere in Louisiana is in a hurricane zone.
Yeah.
We do get tornadoes just like the rest of the country does, not quite as often, but coincidentally a tornado just passed through St. Francisville earlier this summer.
Right after we bought the property.
And did a lot of damage.
It sure did.
So we're just making it a point, any tree that we think is within reach of falling on where the house is going to be located or the shop is going to be located, we're going to go ahead and take them down now, and they're not going to waste.
No.
Trust me, we've got a mountain of firewood, and we've got a mountain of the trunks, the logs that we felt like are usable to be milled into lumber, whether we're able to use it for building the structure of the home or whatever, we're going to reuse it.
Yeah, because the trees we're dealing with, you got to remember, these aren't just some small little maple trees. These are, 80-foot trees.
Yeah, they're big.
They're tall.
80 to 100 feet tall.
Yeah, so some people would say, oh, wouldn't you want the trees for shade? Sure, but not trees of that nature. These are big, tall pine trees.
They're too big.
Yeah. We might come back and plant some smaller trees, around the driveway and whatnot. But for right now, and we're trying to leave a few select oaks that won't, be in jeopardy of falling on the house or shop. But
so predominantly the trees on our property are a mixture of pine, longleaf pine, water oaks, red oaks, white oaks.
Gum tree.
And a ton of gum trees, which...
Is that the technical term for them, or is that just what you call them?
That's what I've always known them as a gum tree, which are basically, they're they're practically useless unless they're being used for pulpwood at a paper mill. But we don't have enough. We're not cutting enough to try and, sell them to the paper mill. So
no, we're hoping to use.
It's not worth it.
So, yeah, a lot of people, when you think of pines, and especially I grew up north, and when I think of a pine tree, I think of something like a Christmas tree. But that's not the kind of pines we have. Chris called them longleaf pines.
They're longleaf pines.
Yeah, and they're extremely tall. All their branches are up in the air, and long pine needles, tons of pine cones. Well, you've seen some of them. If you've watched our channel, you know what we're cutting down. So, yeah, but we're getting to the tail end of that part of the project. So that's exciting. All right, I think that's all for the updates today.
Hopefully we can stay dry.
Yes.